never changed.
Let me talk about and ask about this speed, time, and competitive from the 100,000-foot level. Look, the value proposition here back in 2009 was we're going to speed you between Los Angeles and San Francisco at 250 miles an hour, and you made the claim on speed, time, and competitiveness. In other words, we're going to have an alternative to flying airplanes from LA to San Francisco. Your speed is going down. Your time is going up. I think the competitive advantage is getting eroded here. Are you similarly concerned about the competitiveness being eroded and the competitive value of an alternative form of transportation that isn't as fast and takes more time than what you proposed?
No, I'm not. And our speed has always been at or above 220, or not at or above. The speed is 220 miles an hour. It was never designed or contemplated in its design that for the entire distance you'd be going 220 miles an hour. That was never intended and wouldn't be intended in urban areas. Even in our city in Fresno, that train is not going to come flying through Fresno at 220 miles an hour. It's going to be closer to 100.
Speed is one thing. I also asked about time.
Okay.
If you blend and slow down, your time en route is going to go up.
Every design decision we've made for the 8 years that I've been at high-speed rail is with an absolute focus on how many hours, minutes, and seconds. We, I think right now, are at 2 hours, 36 minutes, and 40 seconds. We have never been above 2 hours and 40 minutes, which is what's required by Proposition 1A, and we've never been much below where we are now. Every decision we've made, and especially as we looked into blending, is can we blend and save the taxpayers of this state money and still meet the requirements of Proposition 1A, and we are still today on track to do that.
So you, although saying you concur with the audit, you are again saying you do not concur with the serious concern raised by our auditor that the competitive advantage is being eroded by virtue of the decisions to basically slow it down.
Well, we're not. The train is not slowing down. It's still at what we've always been obligated to provide under Proposition 1A. With regards to the competition, I know for myself, and I suspect, I mean, we all go to airports and we get there an hour and a half before we need to get on the airplane, and then we've got to wind our way out of an airline terminal to wherever we're going. You have none of that going on with high-speed rail, and you may decide to go on an airplane and take it, what is it, about an hour and 30 minutes to get to Los Angeles from San Francisco, or you could go 2 hours and 40 minutes, but add on to the San Francisco, if you're starting there, add on another hour and a half, where you could have walked to the high-speed rail terminal and walked on the train and gone. The elapsed time.
Look, I hope you're right. I think it's a lot of speculation, and the trust level that many of us have here that yesterday's mistakes are going to be corrected so that tomorrow is not the same outcome. I can only tell you I continue to have really serious reservations about whether you can even deliver a completed project. And the big question for Central California is, what are you going to leave behind? 119 miles from somewhere to somewhere?
Well, we're required.
I mean, that to me is the big picture here that keeps me awake at night.
I appreciate that too, sir. We are required also to have independent utility, and that's required in what we do. So it means that whatever we build, in the event that the project is stalled for some period of time or permanently, as you were just suggesting, that what we've built has got to have independent utility, which means be usable to for some other operator. In this instance, likely in Central California, Amtrak. So what we're building,
honestly, sir, we've been talking about this for years, that your plan B has always been. You know you can't connect, and you basically now are admitting publicly that it is a multiple billion-dollar upgrade to Amtrak. Unless you can have a plan and a finance at your disposal to connect these two, we're going to have billions of dollars spent in LA, San Francisco, and in Central California to what ultimate purpose? That's the big picture that I'm concerned about as a resident of the area, representing it up here, and also the former mayor. Please don't leave behind 119 miles of nothing.
I would tell you today, we're not going to.
We'll see.